You can't tell a narcissist what to do. You may have good intentions and are providing constructive feedback. However, the narcissist's immediate response is to go on the defensive. Anything they think is targeted at them, they turn back on you. The narcissist's fragile ego can't consider the possibility that they could be wrong, made a mistake, or have an area in which they can improve. The narcissist has carefully crafted a reality which best suits them and allows them to continue to live with the belief they are superior to everyone else and everyone wants to be like them. When you tell a narcissist what to do, you have impacted their reality and they don't know how to recover from this. They must rewrite their script on which their life is based. The narcissist isn't a good problem solver, and this reassessment of their life is too much for them to handle, and they act out with one of their narcissistic punishment tactics to take the focus off them and put it onto you. Today I will discuss one way in which the narcissist thinks you are telling them what to do, and they push back fiercely, and that is with boundary setting. But first, I'm Dr. Emily Mayfield, a licensed psychologist. Thank you for watching this video and being a part of the Mindset Therapy family. Let's start with discussion on what a boundary is. In a relationship, a boundary is a rule or limit we set with ourselves which explains what we find acceptable and unacceptable. The boundary is defined by the individual but should be communicated to those they interact with. Sometimes people will set boundaries for themselves but never communicate it to others. They expect the other person to just know what their boundary is. This often leads to disappointment, resentment, and frustration from the person whose boundary wasn't respected because they are upset with the other person for not knowing what the boundary was. For a boundary to be effective, it must be communicated to the other person. When you communicate a boundary to someone who is willing to build a relationship with you and consider your own wants and needs, boundary setting is effective. With the narcissist, however, the problem is they will never respect your boundary. To communicate a boundary to a narcissist becomes an attack on you because the narcissist feels like you are controlling them and telling them how to act. Although the boundary is meant for you, the narcissist takes it personally and makes it about them. They think you see them as flawed and in need of change with the boundary you have set. They can't view themselves as wrong in any way, so they can't accept a boundary. Another reason they push back on the boundary is because a boundary influences a reality they have created. The boundary has someone else dictating how they should live their life, and this affects their false reality. Each change they must make to their crafted reality drains some of their narcissistic supply. Not only do they have to deal with this change, but they also must work to refill the supply lost. The narcissist doesn't want to have to work harder to keep their false image. When you tell a narcissist what to do, you have become an obstacle in their life and you must be shut down as quickly as possible. This is when they will engage in the silent treatment or narcissistic rage. They use the technique which will push you away the quickest so they can retreat into their false beliefs and continue to manipulate others so they feel better about themselves. The narcissist carefully controls their world and they will become defensive at anything which appears to be a complaint about them or you telling them what to do. Even though the narcissist will push back on the boundary you have set with them, this does not mean you shouldn't set boundaries with the narcissist. The narcissist will push back and get upset with anything they feel is an attack on them, and you will never know what will puncture their fragile ego today. Set boundaries with narcissists for yourself so you can show yourself the respect you deserve and not let the narcissist walk all over you. To learn more about what happens if you tell a narcissist no, click on the video in the corner, or you can find the link in the description below. See you at the next video.